Why is healing so lonely? Yes, I have people that I love that surround me, but overall, this is the loneliest I have ever been in my entire life. And this is the most healed that I've ever been in my entire life. I have learned so much over the past few years about myself, about people I used to be involved with, about my family. And I am happy in the space that I'm in, but it is so lonely. And I feel like the people I had to leave behind, they weren't trying to catch up. They weren't trying to heal. And you know what? Maybe in this time on their own, they're healing, they're healed. But at that time, they weren't. They weren't moving at a pace that I needed in the time that I needed. So I had to separate myself. And some people naturally just push themselves out of my lives, and I push myself out of some people's lives. So I cut some people off and they cut themselves off. You know, I can admit there's times in my life that I have been toxic and I have been around toxic people. But at a certain point, you got to be honest with yourself and say, this is not a healthy situation. I got to separate from you, or you need to separate from me. I need time for myself. And so this is the most aware and healed that I have ever been. And like I said, it's the loneliest I've ever been. Some of the traumas I've been through in my life, I was always surrounded by people. And that was the hardest time in my life. Like the hardest times in my life, I was around the most people. And now that I'm going through these things of healing, there's nobody around. Like when I needed people the most, they were around, but they weren't there for me. They were physically there, but the emotional support, it was not there. And now that I can support myself and understand myself, I don't need them. It's like I had to get rid of the toxic people in my life to actually get to a place of healing. I couldn't heal around them. There were certain people that I had to cut off because I just feel like I could not heal around them. I tried to open up their eyes and let them see things the way that I thought they needed to see things, for them to be able to understand me, for them to understand themselves, for us just to grow together. And some people just don't want to grow. And so I had to choose to be lonely. Again, I have the people, the only people around me that I actually love, and they love me. But the other people who I thought would love me, who were supposed to love me, some brought me into this world. They're not around me. So I'm lonely, but I don't miss them. I have what I need. But it's like I have compassion enough for them to know that I got to love them from afar. I don't hate anybody, but I love myself too much to be around toxic environments, toxic people, people who refuse to heal, people who refuse to address things. I can't be in a room with the elephant in the room and we're not going to talk about it. The elephant is huge in the room and we're going to tiptoe around it and act like we don't see that. I did that my whole life. That's how I was groomed to live. See the abuse, see the elephant in the room and act like it doesn't exist. We don't talk about it. And I just couldn't live like that anymore. So I come to say that I'm lonely. Healing is lonely, but it was needed. I needed to take this time to myself to reflect and to heal. And so I don't need a lot of people around me. That's what I had to learn, that you don't need a lot of people around you. You just need the right people around you. And never be too lonely that you bring back people into your life that weren't helping you grow in the first place. And maybe my toxic trait is I just want everybody to heal. That's all I've ever wanted. But you can't want something for somebody that they don't want for themselves. You just have to worry about yourself. As long as you're on a path of healing, of self-love, compassion, and reflection, that's all you can do. You cannot worry about those who do not want to move forward. That's why healing is so lonely.